Hey there folks, it's game number 4 between Sjors and epikfaal. Might just be Sjors. I don't know for sure. Some of these players are Dutch, so that's the only thing I can think of. Speed it up a little bit of a longer game. PVZ, Frost. Let's not cross spawn, so it's not going to be as ridiculous here. But these maps create for some interesting games. You can do things like swarm hosts on maps like this, but generally not as much because there's so many different angles of attack and ways around. So we'll see what's happening here. We got a pylon again on the low ground. And one probe out wandering the map already. So I've got to think he's going to be cannon rushing again. It's kind of my feeling here. Yep, there's our forge. Cannon rushing on this map is very interesting because most people don't expect it because it's hard to really cheese somebody when you don't know where they're spawning. Will be a hatch first again. Our Zerg player's been able to hold off against a cannon rush before. And once again, he doesn't go in for the scout and come out. So the Zerg player knows exactly what is happening. So he's coming down here. Nope, I thought he was going to go for an expansion. Did he walk right past this? Oh, there it is. It's kind of funny. It's a nice spot as well to be able to grab. What's really sick about cannon rushes, if you can do the cannons... Oh, he's trying to get his probe to bounce out of the base. Couple low ground cannons. We do have enough of a surface area, I think, that they should be able to get rid of a couple of these. She got a fair bit of damage in on that probe. Really wants to chase that guy down. Oh, he's gonna do it. Nope. So the cannon is finished, but it hasn't necessarily accomplished anything yet. He's trying to... Yes, he did actually get his probe out. I'm surprised he didn't let that cannon finish, actually. Very sick to see the force micro on that side of things. This is going to be very costly to the Zerglings. They may be able to cancel this one pylon. Oh, is he going to... Oh, he lost his probe, though. Big pile of links about to come out. Really wants to stop this one cannon. Two cannons, obviously. Does a lot of damage there. We'll see if he can actually slow it down. Queen is in range. He's got to be careful. Losing this queen would be really unfortunate. A little bit of bad micro there. He didn't need to lose that queen. But it's going to go down regardless. Poke away at these things now. Get rid of those just fine. Walled up here at the front. Will be nice and tight. Some Zerglings coming across the map, but they won't get too much done. Nax is just finishing up. And if we look at the units, Zerg players, well, they just did a big round of drones. But is just now kind of catching up. It's the beauty of forcing all these Zerglings here. At least he didn't lose that Overlord. That would have been really, really sucky. That's why they do 20 damage. Drones have 40, but natural 1 hit point regeneration does keep them alive. Cannon drives away a bunch of Zerglings on this side. Actually got 5 kills. A little bit of miss micro once again from Sjors there. And now we're just going to boost out a ton of probes. Now, our Protoss player is up 2 games to 1 here, so he just needs to close it out in this match. The mission see which tech he decides to use. Cybernetic score is very delayed. This Overlord's coming in here perfectly safe. All 4 gases are going up right now. So I wonder if this is going to lead into some sort of Stargate play. That's what my heart's telling me. We finally have a 3rd hatchery going down on this side. Somewhat delayed, but not too bad. He's going to take the rest of his gases all at once as well. So we'll probably see him go into a lair tech fairly soon. Appears like he really likes his Lynx and Hydras. So I'm interested to see what we can do with that. No upgrades out of the forge. Sometimes when you get that really early forge down, it's nice to get that +1 started real nice and early. Overlord will come in and see these gateways and might expect some sort of gateway follow-up. Don't know yet for sure what the actual tech is going to be. We haven't seen a Twilight, a Robo, or a Stargate yet. On this side, we have a Roach Warren. This is the first Roach Warren I think we've seen. But he might be afraid of getting a 7-gate all-in attack here soon without having his Hydras up. His lair is very delayed. Overlord's down, so the scouting is gone. Double Stargate. Not just one Stargate. Double the Stargates. So we'll see what this is about here. Double Stargate, like, Phoenix would be way overkill. Unless there's some really crazy build that I haven't really seen too much of. Gotta think it's going to be going into our Void Rays. Perhaps it might be to get out an Oracle at least once. But pretty sure it's going to be there for the Void Rays. Yes. Oh, it's an Overlord up there. I was wondering what that unit was. Third base is up and established. Looks like you got a bit of supply block there. A big pile of roaches came out. And I think this is just our Zerg player worried about some sort of timing. This is a pretty baller stalker just really running out there. Doesn't have enough energy for a recall, so I'm sure he's not too concerned. +1 range on the way. +1 attack, just about to finish up for our Protoss player. Roach speed on the way. And it is double Void Rays. And this is really interesting timing. If it happened to be a big Roach push, these Void Rays would do so well. But this is just a small sprinkling of Roaches, just to go and test the front. Some more Stalkers and Sentries, just gearing up in case. That's a nice little run through here. Looks like a tower defense run through between these buildings. Just gearing up to have enough defenses in case it was going to be some sort of push. Zergling speed's done. Roach speed only a few seconds away. Creep spread's a little bit lesser this game. Doesn't really have a ton. Just enough to really connect his, well, at least a couple of his bases. Nice little snipe on that sentry. Might as well. It's an expensive unit. Roaches have their speed finished, so they'll get away just fine. If we go back to how the economy is looking here, Zerg player's in a great spot. Our Protoss player looks like he wants to do a push, but Void Rays are really nice to use to get your third base in place. It takes a lot for the Zerg player to rally across enough units to really deny that third base, whereas if you're attacking with the Void Rays, you really need an overwhelming numbers to deal with all the units that can rally out of their hatcheries at once. So this isn't really that big of an army, considering he saw a lot of Roaches out. Hydras pop at a really great time. No force fields here. Roaches are tanking the damage. It looks as though the Hydras are getting gobbled up pretty good by these overcharged Void Rays. More Hydras in the pursuit. Used up all the energy on Time Warps here, so there is no recall. We'll lose all of his Void Rays, Mothership Core, and all of the Stalkers. Pretty bad attack there from epikfaal. Once again, I think it would have been better for him to use those units just to simply transition into a third, control the watchtower, and retreat if you need to. A little aggressive, a little too aggressive. And that might end up costing him quite a bit, because now he's got no units at home to be able to safely move into his next base. Nexus does go down, but there's a big swell of units coming across the map. It's going to be able to help deny that. A couple of Void Rays here, but with the Hydras, he does not want to lose those. They're just too expensive, take too long to make, so yeah, he just cancels that Nexus before it even really gets attacked. Still just more Void Rays on the way. Units-wise, still sitting about 46 probes. Zerg player, a little bit below where he wants to be. He's only about 65 workers, but it'll give him a pretty sick army account when he's not supply blocked. He's forcing the Protoss all the way back into his base. And he should be a little bit afraid here. He doesn't really have anything splash-wise. Doesn't have storms or even anywhere near to Colossus tech to deal with all these Hydras. The Void Rays are good, but you need like a max of Void Rays if you think you're just going to win straight out with Void Rays. They're good, but they're not that good. Looks like a little zealot attack actually managed to get a couple of workers there. So to 5 worker kills. I mean, it's something. But with the 4th base going down for the Zerg, and the Protoss really having no third in sight, this is looking pretty good for our Zerg player. Lots of Hydras, Zerglings. Not much for upgrades though right now. Neither of these guys have much for upgrades. There's +1 ranged attack on both essentially. +2 is about to finish up for the Zerg player, so a pretty good timing for him. Probably could just push in and kill with this army. It's difficult to know that without having some way to scout. We have a Spire on the way as well. Might be looking to do another base trade. Sometimes if your Protoss player turtles up too much, it becomes almost impossible to just straight out break them. Hydra's trying to get in a good spot. A lot of these expensive sentries are going down. Zealots are trapped behind the force field, so they're getting shredded. Quite a bit of units here. This big Zealot warp in on the back end, it might actually help clean this up pretty good. He's trying to force fire stutter step. Very smart little attack. But he will end up losing essentially all those Hydras. Still, Protoss only on 2 bases. Zerg player now up to 4. Might just feel the need to push out right now and take care of this. Without it, he's just going to fall way too far behind. We'll cancel the pylon. Might have been able to take on the Zealots, but with the Void Rays, you would have gone through a lot of units there. This hatchery is just going to melt. Man, that died so fast. Still more Void Rays on the way. No splash damage against this very light armor-based army here. You know, a storm or two would just rip this all to hell. Colossus at the same time. So a little bit stubborn on the tech choices here from epikfaal. Know that Void Rays serve us all good once in a while. But you can't just rely on them solely to win you the game. 3rd base is going down. It's about time. He's almost completely mined out in his main. Way oversaturated there. Needs to get up a 3rd base. Zerg player has his Spire finished. Is upgrading his flyer attack as well. I mean, if you get enough mutas out, they can deal with Void Rays quite decently. But he doesn't really have enough economy. Still just on his 3 bases. His main is also drying up pretty fast. Hydra's in a good position to jump down here and take that out. 2-1 Hydras against, which is still, well, a 1-1 army now, so not as well upgraded, but they're at least not super, super crappy. 6 mutas on the way, and don't know if I necessarily get that. I mean, the mutas are great, but if they're not in high enough numbers, they're really not going to do any more damage for you than Hydras could on the ground. So I am not sure that's the best choice for him. New 4th base just going down at this moment. Still got some long distance miners down here. Might be wanting to take care of that pretty soon. Big supply difference between both of these players as well. Protoss player, rightfully so, should be feeling a little bit cornered. He's going to start long distance mining because, or is he just pulling all of his probes for an all-in? Looks like he's pulling a bunch of probes for his all-in. That might not be his worst choice right now. I mean, he's only got, well, he could essentially go for another base, but without some sort of splash damage, some sort of ace in the hole, don't really think he can do that well with it. And it looks like we're just going to go full on base trade again. Why not? 2 base trades in 4 games. Best kind of action. Mutas are overhead, dealing what they can for damage. This base is just going to get shredded so fast. More Lings on the way over. On this side, you have Void Rays carved through everything really quickly. Supply blocking the Zerg player. But he's not as worried about that. He's got drones going to all different corners of the map. Throw down bases everywhere. This base is going to fall so fast. And for the Protoss player, I mean, just like the other base trade, he's got to feel like there's no way for him to actually just beat everything and kill every base. think these are the last buildings right here. Nope, there's still something. No! He threw down a nice Desperation Nexus. So there are hatcheries spread all over this map, so there's almost no chance for the Protoss player to make it. So the Zerg player could technically just dance around and get another base up. He's getting his Spire going again. Which is smart to grab that before the tech disappears. Didn't lose this Spire though. We'll see if he just wants to bum rush this army. There's still quite a few force fields in here. Or if he's going to sit back and try to do something a little bit more creative. Queen gets smoked. This base is going to go down really fast. This is a good attack angle for the Zerg player. A lot of open area. Force field is going to be very difficult. Still a good chunk of force field energy here. Pretty good force fields on this side. Protoss player staying pretty much where he was at for when it comes to supply. But now there's just too much. Even trying to section out some of these Hydras, you're not going to be able to take care of everything in here. This army goes down in a heap. GG. All tied up. Completely tied series for our finals. We're going off to the decider match. Game number 5 here right away.